Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're doing the stock market weekly recap number 21 ever in history, guys. We're recapping the June 9th, 2017 week. We're going to look and see how the markets did. We're going to look at some stocks that went up drastically, some stocks that went down drastically. We're going to look at the biggest news stories we had this week, which we had a few of them, and we're going to look at what we got going on next week. And by the way, at the end of this video, anybody that feels like doing a big challenge, like a research, like detective type challenge, stay tuned at the end of the video. I got something for you guys if you feel like doing something. So anyways, let's get into this, guys. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 0.3% this week. We had the NASDAQ down 1.55%, mainly because of the Friday action. And then we had the S&P 500 up 0.3%. So as we see there year to date, the NASDAQ, even after Friday, is killing the Dow and the S&P. The NASDAQ's up 15% year to date. The Dow's up 7.6%, and then the S&P's up 8.6%. So the NASDAQ is severely outperforming the other indices, even after what happened Friday, guys. It's really amazing. So let's go and look at some of these stocks that went up and down the most. RH Restoration Hardware, this one was on the downside, one of the worst performer stocks last week, and this week it went up over 19%, bounced back like insane. That stock is so resilient. Express, this one was on the downside actually last week, on the downside of things, but this week it's on the positive side. This one was up over 12% this week, and man, I was talking about how I need to look into that one, and then it goes up 12%. Alibaba, that one went up about 12%, one of the biggest e-commerce plays in China, if not the biggest. We had Nordstrom, probably the best run department store in America, went up 11%. They're fighting for their lives, as all department stores are. Winnebago Industries up over 9%. That's a straight play on retirees. Freeport-McMoRan, the natural resources play, up over 9% this week. And lastly, we have Thor Industries, another play directly on people retiring in the United States of America and around the world. It went up over 9% this week. They build things like motorhomes and some of those kinds of things, RVs, and a lot of those things that retirees love to buy and go and travel the world and then they never got to see when they were working. On the downside, we had Rite Aid. Rite Aid went down over 18%. That deal with Walgreens looks like it's definitely not going to get a government approval, and it's just a tough situation for Rite Aid there. Snapchat on the downside here. That one's down over 14% this week. That one, I wanted to keep dropping because I really would like to build a long-term position in Snapchat. I'm just a little reluctant even here at the $18 level to really pull the trigger in a major way. I'm hoping it goes down. And I feel bad, anybody that owns Snapchat, I feel bad for you, but you know, I believe a ton in that company long-term. Just short-term, it's a little rough. Rosetta Stone went down 12% this week. Then we had IMAX, which I actually saw my first IMAX movie last week. That went down around 8.7% this week. Now, what did we have for big news stories? So the biggest news story, in my opinion, this week was this whole James Comey situation. 19.5 million people tuned in for that. Can you believe that on a work day? Holy smokes. So the James Comey situation, what is my take from it? Obviously, you know, he got up in front of Congress there and he gave his whole spiel. He talked for like 3-4 hours. And basically the situation is, and how it could affect the markets is, you know, did he say something that could get Trump impeached or something like that and maybe put to risk? The reason it could affect the markets is you could say, well, the markets have already kind of priced in Trump bringing down that corporate tax rate. If he wasn't able to bring down the corporate tax rate, then, you know, the markets are definitely overvalued if that's the situation. I mean, you could look across stocks. If you could, you know, the average stock's trading at something like a past PE of something like 24, 26 right now. Like, that's drastically high. But if you say, okay, let's chop off 10, let's say 40% of your taxes you pay, all of a sudden things get more profitable. So the whole situation is, it's a he said situation. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about this as far as any type of impeachment or anything like that, because James Comey's saying one thing, Trump's saying another. You can decide who you think's the liar, but one of them is lying at the end of the day, because they're one saying this and the other saying the complete opposite. So one of those two people that are lying, we'll probably never know, and it's up to you to decide who's lying there, but that's kind of the situation there, and it should have no effect on the market whatsoever, because nothing has come out that's like damaging enough where you can prove it's damaging enough, because it's two guys in a room, and who knows? There's no recordings of it, guys. So that's what we have there. Then something I had my eyes on this week was Apple. Apple came out with a bunch of new products this week, a whole bunch of new products. So one of them being this new home speaker called a HomePod. That's a competitor to like an Amazon Echo. It's supposed to be like an upgraded type Amazon Echo. Basically, they've come out with, you know, Apple there. They came out with a super high-end iMac that starts at $4,900. My goal is to one day have so much money that I could spend $4,900 on a Mac and like, it's just a can of soda or something. Like, that's ridiculous. It looks really sick, but $4,900 for a starting iMac. They came out with an AR kit that's going to help with augmented reality and things like that. They're coming out with a new version of High Sierra for OS, new iPad Pros that are ridiculously powerful. I was looking at the specs on those, unbelievable. And then they came out with some other upgraded laptops and things like that. So, you know, how does all this affect Apple stock? I don't know. I mean, the thing is that, yeah, the iPads are much more powerful and things, but we've seen iPad sales have just been struggling for a while now, especially as Apple's upgraded to the bigger phones, because now a lot of people feel like, okay, I got it, especially if you got a 7 Plus or a 6 Plus or something like that. It's like, do I really need an iPad? Maybe I'll just use my phone. And the phones are so powerful because a lot of times the phones have the same chip as the iPads have in many cases. So, you know, who knows if this will reinvigorate Apple sales. And the speaker, you know, is that going to be big materialistic type thing for Apple as far as changing numbers? Absolutely not. Apple's such a big company that even if they sold hundreds and millions of those, you know, speaker things, it's still not going to affect Apple's numbers in any way. So nothing got launched in that whole thing that's really going to be game changing for Apple as far as revenue and profits go. Just kind of stuff that keeps the boat sailing. Then we had what happened here on Friday. So this was another thing that obviously caught my attention. We did a whole video about it. The NASDAQ sell-off. We saw tons of stocks drop massively. You know, Apple dropped about 4%. Nvidia dropped over 6%. Netflix dropped close to 5%. Google dropped. Amazon dropped. I mean, pretty much anything tech related. It's hard to find anything tech related that went up on Friday. Pretty much everything got hit pretty hard. But still, you look at how massively tech is up. Almost every single tech stock you can possibly find is up massively this year. It's hard to find ones that aren't up massively. So you say, okay, so it dropped, you know, oh well. Now, does this continue on into Monday, Tuesday? I was watching Kramer the other day for a few minutes on CNBC, and he was talking about this drop could last 3 days. So meaning Friday is the first day. It could go into Monday and Tuesday. He was talking about, I have no clue if that's really going to happen or not. The market has been so resilient. You know, these drops, it just kind of, you know, gets over and then just start going up again. We'll see what happens there. The other thing that caught my attention this week is Tesla. Tesla, they it teased a little bit this Model Y. It's a new SUV type things supposed to be coming. Is kind of like the Model 3 of SUVs for Tesla, something that's going to be very much affordable to the masses. And that product isn't supposed to be launching until 2019, maybe even 2020. So it's a way off in the future type thing, but interesting, very interesting. They need, if they want to be super competitive, they need to not just have an affordable car, they need to have an affordable SUV that the masses can also buy. And then that's the way that Tesla can really justify this valuation they have. Also, they came out and said the Model 3 is on track for deliveries, and so that's great news if you're a Tesla shareholder out there, or if you're buying a Model 3, that's great news for you as well. The only thing I'm keeping my eye on next week really is Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen is going to do her little spiel that she usually does every few months, and they're going to announce what the interest rate raise is going to be. Well, assuming they raise their interest rates, I believe they will. It'll probably be a 0.25% raise in interest rate, so be keeping my eye on that. You never know. Maybe they come out and surprise and raise a 0.5% or something, or 0.75%, but that would be a total surprise to the markets, and the markets probably wouldn't take that very good, actually. So probably a 0.25% raise is what we're going to be looking at. And so if you want to do some investigative work, you want a little quiz, a little fun thing to do today, there's a video. It's a video here on YouTube that I came across yesterday or the day before, don't know when. The video came out within the past week. I'll give you that as a hint. It's a video of Nick Woodman, GoPro CEO, in a kayak, and he falls off the kayak into the water. There's also a video of him riding his bicycle around on this trail. If you can find what channel that's on, but don't put it in the comment section. If you find it and you're a good little detective and you find where that video's at, don't put the channel name in this comment section because that ruins it for everybody else, please. You can put like the initials of that if you want, or hit me up on Twitter or send me a Snapchat of it. I give you kudos. It'll just prove that you're a good, detective, because investing, you got to do a lot of research. Now this is just like goofy research stuff, but there's video of him falling off a kayak. So you find that and you win the prize for the day, which is just me saying you're awesome. So anyways, if you guys just came across this channel, you may want to subscribe. We talk personal finance. We talk entrepreneurship. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips. We talk stock market investing more than anything. Can you tell I have a cold, or did I fake it good enough? Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.